Greetings, Disney cynics. Is your life one big tragic kingdom? Is your favorite exaltation a hearty, dapper dam? Do you feel an unceasing sense of tiki doom? Well, remain in one place for the lower lighting conditions of Navigating Disney, a Cynic's Guide. And now, your host, a woman who laughed during Bambi, Caitlin Owl.
I actually haven't seen Bambi since I was a small child, but I'm pretty sure that's where like all of this country's collective trauma comes from. So thanks for that. We're just gonna start off with a therapy session tonight. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome back to episode 14. Let's get started. Can my co-hosts please introduce themselves?
This is Dan.
Yep, and that's Mark over there. Oh, there we go.
And I'm Caitlin, so I think we've got it down pat. It has been an insane couple of weeks for Disney. Let's talk about this. Let's kick it to the news.
And now, bringing you your Disney Cynic News. This is DCN.
We're here with lots of late breaking news this week. Tower of Terror fans will rejoice that Steve Guttenberg's classic will no longer be the only film adaptation of the ride. Tower of Terror, starring Scarlett Johansson, will be a film adaptation of Disney's Twilight Zone branded theme park, Tower of Terror. It'll be written by Toy Story 4's Josh Cooley, and as of this writing, no director is yet attached. Given your reaction to Jungle Cruise, I can guess that you're going to be buying your tickets right now, Caitlin.
Don't come for me. I love Tower of Terror, and I love Steve Guttenberg's Tower of Terror. So yeah, I'll buy tickets to this one, sir.
That's who played the? It was somebody famous who played the. Kristen Dunst, was it? He played the.
I think it was actually.
That sounds right.
No, I actually am excited for it.
That is also a movie I saw.
Being excited for things.
The
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I am a little concerned for Scarlett Johansson's career suddenly. Just because it's like Black Widow, and now I'm imagining the exact same thing that like Steve Guttenberg did, and that seems like a big fall from grace. I know it won't be. I know it's going to be like, an actually produced, well done, hopefully, maybe movie.
Are you saying that the Goot is not an A-list actor?
You know what? That's on me. I'm sorry that I brought that up for you. And
I'm pretty sure the Stonecutters made him a star. If my
No, I'm looking forward to it. And I did see. I was in Barnes and Noble one night, and they had like Jungle Cruise, the board game, and I was like, "Oh, that's going to be a movie soon." So I did retain that, and I just wanted to share that with you, Mark. That you do speak, and I do listen sometimes.
All right. Well, my life's dreams are just all coming true.
I mean, this is about making magic on this podcast and then being a jerk about it. Dan, what do you think about Scarlett Johansson falling in an elevator?
I mean, it's a movie about an elevator, so we'll see what they do with it. I'm not overly excited, but I mean, they've surprised me with Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff like that, so who knows?
Okay, important question. Am I the only person on this podcast who has a deep-seated fear of elevators and or dying in them?
I mean, I don't welcome it.
I mean, it seems like a pretty bad way to go. But
yeah,
that's
I don't walk in going, oh boy, I hope this one falls.
Well, I'm glad we all have that mental health kind of perk for the day. So,
I mean, I would be very surprised if there's any Twilight Zone element to this thing at all. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if they decide just to not make this movie and instead, in its place, just slot a fourth Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So,
well, that's the thing with the whole Twilight Zone thing. I mean, that's a CBS property, so it was like the whole thing of like you're doing a Tower of Terror movie. Why? Like it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, I mean, and I think you like, as the Goot has shown us, you can do a perfectly serviceable Tower of Terror movie with absolutely no Twilight Zone elements to it at all. That was not the direct-to-video Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. It was just the Tower of Terror VHS.
I'm gonna find that and we're gonna watch it.
I've seen it.
No, we're watching it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's happening. I just pencil it in, everyone. All right. What else? What other terrifying things are we having?
Well, it'll only terrify you if you are unvaccinated, unmasked, and don't like standing close to people. Fireworks are returning to all of the parks in the coming months, including some enhancements. Now, Disney's Happily Ever After, the excellent projection and fireworks show, will be returning in July on the 4th. Go America. And a new Magic Kingdom enhanced Disney show that I'm sure is not actually titled Disney Enhancement will debut for 10/1 for the 50th anniversary. That'll include projections up and down Main Street, mostly down. Epcot will continue its Epcot Forever show that was described as watchable. But now without the flaming kites, and will debut Harmonious the same day as whatever Disney Enhancement is on October 1st, thus justifying the existence of horrible barges in the middle of the lagoon. And AK, which Caitlin will not see, will see a new Disney Kite Tales show debut on the 1st of October as well, thus putting the final nail in the coffin of that kind of horrible lantern light water procession show. So nighttime spectaculars will resume at Walt Disney World. This all begins next week, and they're all now in the My Disney Experience app. Anybody got any reaction to this? Anybody like a good bang?
I do like good bangs. Fireworks, on the other hand, sometimes make me nervous. But anyway, I'm honestly scared for Disney with this one. Not because of the unmasking and not because of all that. I'm not going to even touch on that because my anxiety, it's already been a ride for me this week. What I'm worried is that Harmonious is going to be terrible, and those barges are just going to be in the middle of World Showcase, and everyone is going to like riot. So I really hope that it's great, but those barges look like some weird. I don't even know how to explain it. It's an eyesore. Like, it looks bad. So I'm hoping that something can be done. It looks better. Maybe that's not the final iteration. And I'm glad that, the world is healing. We know that officially if Disney's fireworks are coming back. I'm still super nervous about the crowds. Dan, what about you?
I agree with Harmonious. That is, I hope for the sake of what it's costing just aesthetically, that it's overall worth it. It's really just messing up just the view of the area. And it's not that I don't like new things, but it just kind of, it looks out of place until I actually see it. Then, in person might have a different opinion, but for what I'm seeing so far, meh.
I'm just waiting for the moment where Chapek rips off his shirt and screams, "It's time to ascend," and a portal opens in the center of that thing, and he walks into like the zenith plane.
I'd watch that.
I'm there for it.
They could take my money.
And it's set to Remember Me from Coco.
Excellent.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I'd watch that.
Now, as far as the Disney Mouse Enhancement show that they have coming out, I think what that's going to do, depending on how much they do with the projections down Main Street, it might actually shift the heavy person load from the rotunda area more towards the entrance and down towards the street, because people are going to want to have that one view of it instead of constantly turning back and forth depending on what they're doing. So it might do a good job in terms of spreading the crowd out some, but then you may have just this massive bottleneck, even more so than you do at the exit already after the fireworks go. So just kind of a,
I'm going to move a news piece up a couple slots for logistical reasons. Look, Avengers Campus may have its upcoming e-ticket in jeopardy. Just days after opening the Avengers Campus area in Disneyland, a large art display promoting the Quinjet-based e-ticket ride, which sounded awesome, by the way, has been removed from the Hotel New York at the with the Art of Marvel at Disneyland Paris. And what does this mean? Does it mean that the e-ticket is dead? Possibly. Or does it mean that it's going to be modified in such a way that that piece of art would be unrecognizable? Who knows? But Avengers Campus is now open and in full swing with lots of entertainment, lots of web slinging, and lots of shawarma. And coming in to talk to us about his experience rolling down the 60 some odd feet of that land is West Coast Jim. West Coast Jim, welcome to the podcast.
Hey Jim, how's it going?
Hello, everybody. Good to see you all.
Longtime friend of the podcast.
It's our West Coast correspondent, which means that I'm actually really excited to hear how Avengers Campus is, because I've watched a lot of vlogs on it. I've actually been really excited about this myself, but I can't get a feel for how it is. So spill the Infinity Stones.
Yeah. Caveat before I start. My expectations were a little bit lowered, partly by some fan reaction, partly from what I'd heard that there isn't much to it. I was a little bit avoiding it just because I kept hearing about lines just to walk through the land, just to even get to the land. And I was like, the land is essentially a couple of food options, a couple of small stunt show, like you got the Spider-Man stunt show, there's character interactions, the little bit of time I spent there, Iron Man was there, Ant-Man, Black Widow, Doctor Strange was supposed to come out, so there's a lot of activity that's going along there, but I was kind of holding off. But the land itself is quite nice. It's bigger than I would have thought, not huge. I mean, still keep your expectations low. But it's well put together, I would say. I think the food helps a lot. There's obviously the Web Slingers ride, which I have not done yet because that's one of their virtual queue situations, which I get annoyed by and have not, really tried to break through on that. But we'll hopefully be able to see that in the near future. I have a son who's 9, who's a huge Marvel fan, so all of this stuff is very important to him. So he had a great time with it. We spent a fortune to get him a Iron Man gauntlet to go with his, with your soda purchase at the shawarma cart. We tried a lot of the food just to taste it and to try it. The shawarma was actually pretty good, but very heavy. The inside Pim's Kitchen, which is the big kind of centerpiece there. There's a whole bar area to it, which I didn't participate in, but there was a lot of people there, in line for that. But the food options were pretty good. I mean, we had a giant Bavarian pretzel. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's what I was going to ask. What did you have at the Pim Kitchen?
So we did the pretzel. We did the PB&J thing, which is like you get a really tiny banana smoothie, and then the PB&J is on this like interesting bread with like bacon on it and all this, which is good. And I mean, all of it was good. I tried the chicken. My favorite was the chicken sandwich, which is a giant chicken, fried chicken breast with a really tiny bun on it, so everything was slightly out of proportion.
I have a question
which
about.
Yeah, go ahead.
My question about so I've seen the pictures of the giant chicken sandwich, and I'm trying to think of can you hold it like a sandwich, or do you have to eat it with a fork and knife?
You can't really eat. I ate it with a fork and knife because then to do what you're talking about, you need to just manhandle your food. You got to put your hands on the chicken. The chicken's so big It's not it's not something that I would eat any other way. But it's very good. I mean, it's got a good sauce and like cabbage or whatever, or coleslaw or whatever it is. But it's good. It's not going to take away from anybody's favorite chicken sandwich out there. But for Disney, it's another different kind of thing to offer. There was also like a pasta thing, like an impossible pasta dish, which was an impossible meatball and then pasta, but it's in like a giant spoon. So it's pretty, so it was all good. They did keep advertising this soda there that I don't know what the relation is. It's like Pulsey Pogu or something like that. I'm sorry, I didn't do my research ahead of time.
Wait, is that the soda in Loki?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think
it's
got to be something like that. It's pretty good. It's kind of like a squirt, I guess, but anyway, it's but they have a decent amount of seating there, which I think is good, which they I don't feel like they have for Star Wars Land, so I was appreciative of that. But it's cute. It seems silly to have like a block, because there's still people there and they're like still counting everybody that comes in to make sure. We didn't have to wait at all. We walked right in. But it was interesting that they were so ready to turn it off, like to just stop people from coming in. For a land that has like 3 entrances and exits, it just seemed like kind of an odd thing. The one thing I don't like that they've done, and I don't think it'll be an issue for much longer, is they've folded Guardians of the Galaxy, which used to be Tower of Terror. They've now folded it into Avengers Campus, which makes sense, but it also means that if you can't get into Avengers Campus, you also can't get onto that ride.
Ooh.
Oh,
I hadn't heard that yet.
But again, it's been open 2 weeks, and even by this point, we were able to walk right in, and go onto the ride. But overall, I think it's a great addition. I'm excited to see what else they add, which I guess is just going to be that other ride potentially, but I don't know. That's so far off, it seems not even worth talking about.
Well, and that's the thing that's in question now, is whether or not there's what the fate of the e-ticket is going to be there. Based on today's news. Were there any Easter eggs for Bugs Land left in place?
I think we lost West Coast Jim.
I think Jim's frozen.
Jim's frozen, or he is contemplating my question with great aplomb.
Now, I can answer that question, actually. They did leave an homage there. I saw an article about it. I believe it was some leaves from one of the players or whatever. Like, there's just something like built into some of the scenery there, but it was left behind.
That's cool. I do have to say, and I'm hoping that Jim can get back on, because I'd really like his opinion. Should we fly out there, or is it like a wait and see type of deal? Because for those of you who do not remember, we're all East Coasters, and West Coast Jim, of course, obviously lives in California.
Well, I mean, he could have lived in like 2 other
Oregon
states.
or Washington. Yeah. So, but no, I'm glad he got to come drop in with us. I've actually been wondering about his thoughts. So I love West Coast Jim, because it's like we summoned him. Oh, speaking of, did we summon him again?
Did we say his name 3 times?
If you say West Coast Jim 3 times, does he appear? Hope so.
Is he still frozen? Should we let him go?
Oh, Mark. So no,
summer.
I'm super.
You're kind of back,
but not really.
I'm so excited though, because I want to also like.
Can you see me?
Yay!
Yes. Yay! You're moving.
He's back. So my
Sorry
biggest question
that,
for
guys.
you.
That's all right.
We know you don't have good internet in California, apparently.
He's got to go to space.
Not
Is
today,
the speed of light
unfortunately.
not fast enough for you? I mean,
Exactly. So I'm curious. So all of us out here on the East Coast, should we traverse all the way out there to see this campus, or do you think it's like a wait and see kind of thing?
I don't. I think it's worth going to Disneyland. I don't think it's worth coming out for that.
Good to know.
Even I'm going to reserve judgment till I do the ride, but I have
Mhm.
not heard like the most amazing things about the ride, you know,
Which is
like,
interesting.
compared to Rise or compared to Smuggler's Run.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think Disneyland is a very unique experience, but I personally think like Cars Land is more enticing if
Really?
you're into cars. But I mean, it's a really,
Oh.
really unique recreation of that, you know, of those movies. Not that I'm the biggest fan of those movies, really, of all the Pixar movies, but they've done a really good job, and the ride they have there is really excellent. They're
Yeah, and I've
Radiator
heard
Springs.
that. I mean, basically with Cars Land, I mean, like much like you don't have to be a fan of Avatar to
Right.
to enjoy Flight of Passage. You do have to have an active ticket and walk through the gates of Animal Kingdom, but you don't have to be a fan of that James Cameron movie that everybody was kind of like
Right.
wondering what was happening to like Flight of Passage. And I heard the same thing
Right.
about Cars. Cars is my least favorite. Well, actually, until Good Dinosaur came out, it's my second least favorite Pixar movie, or franchise at least. But I am interested in seeing Cars Land.
Yeah, that
we're talking
but
about,
you know, what was that?
no, we're talking about heading out, like, you know, sometime in the next like, you know, 2 years, because like we got kind of limited time magic with a high schooler.
Are we allowed to come on that trip with you, Mark,
Right.
or is it still just a like no friends thing?
Absolutely not.
Oh, nice.
I
I get it. I'm just saying there are other people here who want to go to California and see West Coast Gym.
You are, and I'll leave that between you. Like, my name is Paul. That's between you all.
Sounds
Yeah.
good, sir.
Disneyland is amazing. I would never come out for Avengers Campus.
All right, that's the review we
if
needed.
you're here, it's if you're here, it's a good place to check out.
Yeah, I wouldn't travel like west just for. I mean, like, I might travel west, like, and make Disneyland a priority, but I wouldn't. I mean, there's so much great stuff to do in that state that, you know, it's not the only reason to travel there.
Fair enough.
Right.
Well, West Coast Jim, thank you for joining us. Would you like to hang out for the news, or do you have to go off to your reporting?
I have to jump, unfortunately, but I don't want to tempt fate with the recording. But any other questions? Anything else I can tell you about what's happening out here?
Are you going to do the $100 sandwich at some point?
No, because it's great that they have it. Actually, that was like one of the few things we didn't try, because even the small version of it doesn't have anything I particularly like. You know, it's like ham, and it's like, you know, sun-dried tomatoes, and all the stuff that I try to avoid in general. But I love the idea of the $100 sandwich, but it's like 6 versions of the small one, and it's the same cost. So it's like it's a cute idea, but it's not something that I would particularly. And it's just, the one thing I will say, there's always like head-scratching decisions Disney makes in terms of what they go after. Like that sandwich would be like that idea of a sandwich would be perfect for like kids and the like. But, you know, so many of their things now are not things that kids would necessarily want to eat. Right. So like, you know, but there's better stuff here than I would say at the Star Wars area in terms of food variety at Pim's Kitchen. So I like that about it, at least.
All right.
Me asking the important food questions. Well, thank you for joining us, West Coast Jim.
Right,
we will transport
you
in
for having
soon.
me. I appreciate it. I will talk to you guys again soon. Take it easy.
All right. Have a good one.
Good.
Safe travel, sir. And moving on, it's always nice to see West Coast Jim. The Contemporary is going to be undergoing renovations to bring in intellectual property into this beloved hotel. The rooms will be getting a Incredibles makeover, and the Wave on the first floor of the Contemporary will be closing mid-July for refurbishment. And the rumor is that there's going to be a second piece of character dining at the Contemporary, and it's going to be an Incredibles meet and greet. So I don't know. How do we feel about this?
The rooms look
interesting. Like, I love the mirror aesthetic with the monorail etching all around the outside of it. Like, that looks cool, but that's the monorail and not necessarily the Incredibles. So yeah, it's like it's okay, but again, it's more theming for the sake of theming, where it doesn't necessarily need to have it.
I think I underestimated the Incredibles fandom.
It's huge.
Yeah,
I personally was like just not very connected to that movie. I think it's good. I don't think it's bad. I love Edna Mode, fantastic, but like it wasn't. I didn't think they'd do like a themed room from it. So I love the contemporary. It brings back the most memories for me being in Disney as a child. And honestly, the mural, like the one I'm talking about, right?
The Mary Blair mural in the
that's one of my favorite pieces of Disney art. So as long as they keep that, I'm happy.
Yeah, that's worth protecting. They actually was a Disneyland based Mary Blair Tomorrowland mural that got destroyed in a reno. So
oh god.
But brilliant artist, and check out her little golden book, I Can Fly.
All right, we can do that.
Live action. So there's going to be a live action adaptation of Snow White with Rachel Zegler. And she is going to be remaking the classic fairy tale. She beat out many for the role, and she is an actress who is poised for a major breakout. She was Maria in Steven Spielberg's upcoming West Side Story, which comes out in 2021. She is also going to be appearing in the sequel to the very fun DC movie Shazam 2. What do you guys heard about this?
Nothing.
It's another live action I'm indifferent to. I mean, we're making them all over again. I mean, could be fun, might not be. I mean, who knows? It's just
like, is this going to be Chapek's? Like, this is what we remember him for, is like space barges and live action films.
Well, so I mean, most of that is just following through on Iger's
I know. I'm going to blame Chapek.
All right. Bob Chapek / Michael Chiklit stunt double.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is what it is. Okay, sure.
And folks, that's the news.
It was a newsworthy couple of weeks. I mean, summarized: Avengers, masks, fireworks, and followed by long lines. There you go. That's the news.
Yeah, the big bangs,
The big bangs. Lots of big bangs for all of us. Anyway, so I am really excited about tonight's topic, because I realized while prepping for this and while kind of doing a little bit of research that one of the smartest things I could have done the last time I went to Disney before I was a reformed Disney cynic would have been to get banned from the parks. I could have easily been done with all of this and not spent all this money and not cared so much if I had just done something dumb. So, ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, she's, theys, and gays, we are going to talk about ways to get banned in Disney. So, who wants to go first?
I'll kick us off.
Yeah, get it, Dan.
So, we're going to start off with somebody who got away with stuff not once, not twice, but 3 strikes before he officially got banned. And we're going back to the olden days, the before times in 2018, when Dion Cini, he was an annual pass holder and a massive political supporter, which what he did was his first time he got in trouble, he dropped a Trump banner at the main station on Main Street for the train. A huge banner there, which Disney just has no banners of any type, doesn't matter what it is. So affiliate didn't matter. It was just in this situation, he just put a huge Trump banner out. That was a no-go. So he got away with that one ish, got a slap on the wrist. Then in November of 18, he held up a Trump 2020 sign on Splash Mountain as part of the picture. Got in trouble for that one as well. Another slap on the wrist. Later in that same trip,
he held up "Keep America Great" or one of those signs on Expedition Everest. That was the one that finally got him banned after his, holding up 3 signs, and apparently him doing that was so important that he's never going to be able to go there again to do those 3 signs, which is impressive that he got 3 strikes because Disney doesn't usually do that.
Yeah, I feel like Daddy Disney wouldn't actually give you 3 strikes, but also I'd like to explain to this person that Everest is not in America and therefore it does not have voting rights. Just saying, that's one of the flaws in this very convoluted way to get banned from Disney.
Make Nepal great again.
Make Nepal great again. But one of the things that I have to say here is just like, I guess my question, and I know I'm skirting rules here, and I know that like my mischievous side is coming out. Could I hold up other signs that weren't like political banners and still get in trouble? Or could I like hold up a sign that's like "I'm with Mark" and it's got a question mark on it?
You just want to hold up like a red, white, and blue sign that says "Keep it funky"? Like
I would, yeah. Or like if I held up one that was like, I don't know, pugs are genetic monsters, but I still love mine. Like, would that be too controversial?
In general, the general rule that they have, whether or not they enforce it equally, that's for up to them. But the rule is no signs, no banners, none of that type of stuff, especially on the rides, because that could endanger other people on the ride, or it could actually damage the ride if somebody's not careful, depending on what exactly they're holding.
That's
so
fair.
like they have a pretty hard none of that type of stuff. It just happened to be this guy did 3 Trump things. Whether or not if it was something else, I think for what he did, the way he did it, he'd probably get nailed for it no matter what it was. Whatever.
Last I heard, he claimed he was never banned. It's just completely fake. He and a bunch of his friends stormed Cinderella Castle and smeared poop on the inside of it. So
wait, what?
Yeah, so they did it a few years ago on January 6th. You didn't hear about it?
Oh, I'll just leave. Anyway,
what?
My other question though is like, if it hadn't have been Trump, would he have been like? I'm wondering if Disney had any political gain here.
I think the big part of it initially was the giant banner. Like this was one of the ones that you drape over something.
Yeah.
So, and that was his first one. So I think that set it off to begin with. So they may have been a little harsher on him because of that first offense. It wouldn't have mattered what was on that sign the first time through. I mean, that was just a massive no-no.
Well, you know what? I also too have feelings. They have currently not gotten me banned from any theme parks yet. All right, well, go him. That seems like so anticlimactic to get banned from Disney. Like I want someone who's start a brawl or something like that.
Oh, I'm sure we can come up with something in a little bit.
Sounds good.
My foreshadowing.
What?
So my first is one that pretty much everyone's heard of, but I felt like if we didn't bring it up, we'd get slammed in the comments or not. But I know Heather would have something to say about it if she ever found out. But
yeah, she'd have to watch first.
A Disney cast member named Jason Jeter, known on TikTok as Show Me Love Jeet, was a real piece of Jeet, and he got 250K followers by doing such clever things as sampling all the water in the different fountains around the property, and breaking into the Disney Wedding Pavilion, and just because it was unlocked, like it was a service he was providing. Jason doubled down. He lost his employment. So he was fired from Disney, which he immediately talked the tick about. As he was walking to his car, he decided that the best way to react to his firing was to do a TikTok. And then less than a week later, he was banned for life. So what's the game show that we like to play, Dan?
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Ding, ding, ding. You win a lifetime ban from Disney. So, and he talked the tick about that as well. So, I don't know. What do you you guys familiar with this one?
Yeah, it was a pretty special one to go
Hmm.
around, and then you'd be like, I don't know why they fired me. It's like, really? Like,
Because of all the reasons.
Why did he drink the water?
Like he
But
just,
like, did he expect it to be magical? Did he literally want to bring an eating amoeba? We've talked about this.
I mean, I don't think he was expecting to be able to like fly around like Tinkerbell. I think the magic that he was expecting to have was likes and followers. I mean, I think this is like a microcosm of the ugly specter of seeking out fame, regardless of having any talent or reason to be famous. Like we've entered a point in history where you can be famous specifically for being an idiot. So thank you, Paris Hilton.
She's actually kind of brilliant. No, I can get into like an entire discussion about this. Okay, thanks. No,
I suddenly hear crickets. I don't know why.
I will say this just because I've seen her on TikTok as well. She's a very orchestrated brand. That's all I'll say. And from a marketing point of view, it's pretty good.
I mean, yeah. So are the Kardashians, and it does.
That's fair, and I would rather not ever think about them as people.
Doesn't change the fact that you're famous for a big butt and a sex tape, and are a human dumpster fire that has all the money in a television show.
Well, we'll save Disney sex tapes for another show because I've got one that I want to talk about. This is actually my favorite banning from Disney because this story I feel like escalated over the beginning of the pandemic, and I truly loved that. So it's March 2020 basically. Disney has shut down. We're all terrified of COVID. There is a man from, of all places, not Florida, Alabama.
Blang, 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 blang.
Exactly. His name is Richard McGuire. He at the time was 42, and harkening back to Mr. I Drank the Disney Water for TikTok, he had a YouTube channel. And so during the pandemic, he basically decided that he was going to go to something called Discovery Island, which this is where you guys keep telling me that this is like important information. I don't know what it is, and you have only told me it's not Discovery Zone. So we're sticking with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks so much information from you all. Anyway, so he gets on Discovery Island and lives there during the pandemic. He quarantines on Discovery Island for 2 full days until apparently he tripped some kind of camera. And this is where I truly love this. Disney came to find him, right? Like he's trespassing at this point. So there's like helicopters, people are storming Discovery Island. I'm imagining they're getting stuck in the ball pit, which you guys still say isn't a thing, but whatever. And the dude gets on YouTube and like starts sharing recorded videos of himself hiding on the island, to where he posted a video of him covering himself with leaves. And says the now iconic line that I'm going to put up there with the likes of like Hamlet. Disney World ain't playing. Disney World ain't playing. So anyway, they did find him. They they got a lot of video like of body cams that have been released that you can see like the now defunct Discovery Island. But yeah, no, they found this guy and they took him to court. And this is I think my favorite part of all of this is where he pleads no contest. He gets fined $100, and on top of it, has to pay for all the prosecution and legal fees. And immediately received as well a lifetime ban from Disney. So I don't know how much those legal fees were, but it's going to be a pretty expensive stay to have that island to yourself. But another reason I love the story is when asked about it, Mr. McGuire said, it was like living in a tropical paradise.
I find that highly dubious.
But I have to say, like, just this guy's mentality, the fact that he was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna quarantine in an abandoned theme park. Like, Mr. McGuire, wherever you are out there, props, man. Not smart.
He was living the apocalypse dream.
He was.
An abandoned theme park. There you go.
I remember texting you about this and being like, is this guy my hero? He might be my hero. Because I honestly, like, when this first came out, the news sources were reporting that he didn't know he was on Discovery Island, and obviously he did. But I imagine this, like, very, like, dude-like person who was just like, yeah, I just, like, crash in the wilderness, man, and I just, like, found this place. But yeah, no, he was trespassing.
The mouse abides.
Basically, the mouse abides. But no, he had to go to court, and now he's banned from Disney for life. So, worth it? Question mark.
I mean, could he afford Disney? I mean, like,
I mean, he may have got a discounted rate if the legal fees weren't that bad, but I'm guessing if he went up against Disney, they were pretty bad.
I mean, they don't go to the law school and pick up students for that type of stuff.
Fair.
I think like some names for renaming Discovery Island while he was living on it, maybe like the Coronado Resort.
Ooh.
No. Mm-mm.
Very nice.
He was social mousticing.
You know you like that one, Caitlin.
I did, but I don't want to tell him that because I don't want to validate him.
I'm just trying to break the punometer.
Yeah, it's gonna happen someday on here. We know that, but no, this is truly one of my favorite stories because the fact that this dude was like, Disney ain't bleeping around. Like, mwah, love that. Also, covering yourself in leaves. Like, what the? Why?
Well, and like, you know, go ahead and like, you know, if anybody who's listening, go ahead and look up some pictures of the state of Discovery Island and tell me if you come to the conclusion that is a tropical paradise. Spoiler, the answer is no.
All right, so there's mine. Do you guys want to, Dan, you want to throw back to you?
I'll go again. So going to the other side of the political spectrum, as it would be, we're going to go to Disneyland this time.
Is this like a Coney 2012 type thing?
No, not Coney. But in a very completely not controversial move at the time, Barack Obama was thrown out of Disneyland way back in the day as a college student.
What?
Because, get this, the horror, he had a cigarette on the sky ride.
Oh.
So
Wait,
he
sky
was
ride?
smoking.
Yeah, the
Yes.
sky buckets.
Yep,
Oh.
they used to have those. Yeah, he was with a couple of friends, and he made it very clear that it was only a cigarette at a campaign stop in Anaheim at one point. But yep, and it wasn't a permanent ban. They have come out and said that they would welcome him back at any time he wants to come back. He's not banned for life, but he was thrown out that day for smoking what he claims was a tobacco cigarette.
Wow.
It doesn't count if you didn't inhale, right?
Exactly.
That seems to be the platform, right?
Wow. Okay. So that's. I mean, I get it. I get why they like escorted him out, but also that's hilarious.
Yeah. For getting thrown out, that's one of the funnier ways to do it.
No, part of me was a part of me was just kind of expecting like he like gets reelected and is like, I'm going to Disney, and he's like, oh, this election's been so hard, lights up, and they're like, Mr. President, we're gonna have to ask you to leave
Again.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, great. Wow, shout out to the Obamas. I hope they have had a better time at Disney since.
All right, Mark. So that's all I got on that one. So why don't you take it away?
It's a world of laughter. It's it's a world of cheer. Listen, I'm staying with the, like, you know, people who got famous on social platforms with a So look, I mean, here's this lady's conundrum. Y'all have eaten lots of counter service food at Disney, and it's hard for an individual to stay healthy. Wouldn't you agree? With so many fried options, it's sometimes what you really need is just you need a little bit of green, like a little salad or something that's a light low cal fare with low cholesterol. Well, rather than go to the Garden Grill, this woman had the brilliant idea that she was going to eject herself from a boat and create her own behind the scenes tour on the Living with the Land Epcot ride. She got out of the boat and helped herself to a delicious cucumber.
Did she actually eat it?
I don't think she got the chance to eat it.
Yeah.
Are we sure it was for? Never mind. We'll just leave that one alone.
Yeah, we don't know her.
Poor Mark.
Oh, I don't think it was a aid of any kind.
Did she get banned for life?
I couldn't find information.
It's still kind of developing. I mean, this only happened a couple days ago.
Mm.
I told you guys about me trying to jump off the boat, right?
Yes.
Was it you?
It wasn't me this time, but I also want to say that I think that Dan's wife would have done that.
Yes, I'm going to say yes, because she's never going to know about this. Yes, she 100% would do it.
But who hasn't had that urge before when you're on Living with the Lands? Mark, you have. You don't even know you've had it, but you have. When you're in the boat and either you're chill vibes, love this sustainability, or you're bored out of your mind and you're just like, could I eat one of those? Could I pick one?
First of all, you're grossly overestimating how much I want to eat produce at any given moment when I am surrounded by massive emu legs.
I was going to say, if they were growing turkey legs.
If they had a turkey leg experience.
He's just going to jump out and just hand catch one of the fish and just run away with it.
Just see like Dan Aykroyd in Trading Places.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I mean, I guess I get the theory behind that because of the rides, it's very slow moving, it's open sides, and the ground is right there with that beautiful white sand.
Yeah.
And interesting places, I'm gonna climb that tomato tree. I'm gonna go kick that Mickey pumpkin around like a soccer ball. I don't know, but
you have a lot of rage towards Mickey, huh?
I latent, I guess.
No, I think that everyone has had that urge, and I actually really love this person for being like, I'm getting a cucumber. I respect that. I really respect that.
All right, Caitlin, it's back on you.
So speaking of brawls in Toontown.
No, wow, what a transition.
No, that is a segue and a half.
So I honestly was very interested to see where people have gotten banned before, and I think this one's pretty terrible. So there's a couple of people involved here, and this was at Disneyland. So I was hoping that West Coast Jim could give us some insight because I assume that he lives there, but I know he doesn't. But I'm gonna pretend he does. So apparently it's Toontown, right? It's just it's a place in Disneyland for
Tunes, yes.
No, for children. It's a family area, right?
Well, aren't they? I mean, I would say the whole park is pretty family friendly. There's not there's not like a Disneyland hedonist zone. I mean,
that you're aware of, Mark.
Well, I'm sure there are multiple, but yeah.
I mean, you told me about Pleasure Island.
Not sanctioned. We're still on that.
We're always going to be on that.
All right, so it's youth oriented.
So yeah, no, it's for children. This is very much like the children's part of the park. So there's a gentleman named Avery Desmond Edwin Robinson. I can't find why this happened. Honestly, I can't find the inciting incident, but a brawl, a literal fight, broke out between him, his sister, and his brother-in-law. The messed up part about this, maybe I shouldn't have saved this for the end because it gets pretty dark, is that because there were children involved around them, also his child was there, he faced felony child endangerment charges. Yeah, I mean, what's our game again, Dan?
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
So there has been a lot about this. I in my research for this, one of my personal favorites was someone who escalated this to, oh my god, obviously he ran someone over with a car. I can't verify that because I don't think that happened. But there was an actual fight. Like, he punches his sister. It's very violent. They get into an actual fight as like a crowd forms around them. I believe he also threw hands at some of the security guards. But it wasn't great. The video is out there. It is pretty graphic. If you are a typical Disney user, if you are a cynical Disney user, it's a fight. So just be aware of that. But yeah, so he had to go to court. All three of them did, actually. So he was facing up to 5 felonies and 9 misdemeanors. So that's a lot. Apparently he only got 6 months in jail. But he pleaded guilty to a felony charge and then 13 misdemeanors. So I'm interested to see kind of what happened there. Yeah.
I mean,
Don't start fights.
That's quite the Mouska rap sheet.
Mouska rap sheet, or is it Mouska rat sheet, Dan?
Oh, all right. You just one-upped it. You made it better. Yes, and.
Woo. But yeah, so I mean, I really wish I could kind of explain this, but the sister, whose name was Andrea Robinson, there was spitting from her. Damon Petrie, who was her husband, he also got involved. And I think the best part about all of this, other than my neighbors setting off fireworks currently, sorry everyone.
Oh, that's what that is.
It is. I'm not getting into a brawl right now.
Somebody's breaking through your door. You know?
I thought just Kool-Aid Man was just having a really hard time with your wall.
No, for those of you not in the New England area, we tend to start fireworks in April and they go till October. So sorry about that, everyone. But so yeah, I mean, this got bad. Like, so the sister and the husband didn't even appear in court when it was the superior court because they were felonies. They were considered to be fugitives from justice. Like this whole situation was just not good.
Well,
so they all have lifetime bans and now rap sheets.
That is hands down the best way to get banned from the parks. Like, if you want the land speed record, like just lay hands on a cast member. That's the best way to do it. Just
I don't know, starting a fight in front of children. I think that's.
I mean, I think that's fine, but like, you know, they had time to get it filmed. And, like,
and it's a long video. It's like 4 minutes.
It goes on and on.
So feel free to watch that if you guys want, but don't fight people in general, but especially not in front of children.
So Dan, did you want to close out? So I'll take I'll jump out of order.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, and I'm gonna before I get to my last one, I'm gonna give an honorary shout out to the guy who insisted on coming to the parks as Santa Claus over and over and over again until Disney had to ban Santa because Disney very, very, very much does not want you being a character in their park. They bring the characters, you bring the fun. This guy with a long white beard would go in a red sweater and take pictures and like with children and give out hugs. And, you know, that's just frowned on for a number of reasons. So, I did not do the research. That one just kind of came to me in the moment, but it's too good not to mention.
My God.
But for me, I am going all the way back to the OG Disney band. In Disneyland in 1959, visiting premier Nikita Khrushchev had come to America to on a very, very, very tense goodwill tour. And he toured 20th Century Fox Studios and a number of other LA sites. And he really wanted his family to visit Disneyland, and he was denied access. Walt Disney was a man that is described in his concept, his invented ride, Carousel of Progress, as about as American as a guy can be. And that's definitely true. The premier was told that the crowds at the Disneyland park, being what they were, his safety could not be guaranteed in the parks. And never missing out for an opportunity to go out on an excellent tirade. The premier of Russia really had a lot to say about how they tell me I won't be safe if I go. What am I, to be assassinated? So he didn't go. And this is well after, probably right around the time of the McCarthy hearings, where Walt ratted out multiple animators who couldn't work for the rest of their lives under their actual names. So America.
One of my favorite parts of that story is where Khrushchev came out at one of his comments, which in text, it could read very differently than how he intended it. But he was asking, what are they hiding in there? Are there rocket launch pads in there? Are there this? So he's basically like making this thing. And I mean, unfortunately, wasn't around in the 50s, so I don't know like what he's like, if he was joking, if he actually meant what he was saying. Right. But just reading that is just a spectacular response to it.
Mark, you were there. What did he mean?
Oh, I would have loved to have had him gain access and be in front of the Tomorrowland rocket to the moon ride that looked like something you put a quarter in front of a target and see
they have rockets there.
That's amazing. So was that like the first documented ban?
I'm gonna go
as far as I know, yeah,
with absolutely yes. And don't do any further research.
Okay, sounds great.
And we just put it onto the internet, so it must be true.
So we'll just roll credits now.
I'm willing to bet that there were drunk people and other such, just people who got ejected and maybe a documented ban here or there. But it's the first one that I looked up. So Dan, why don't you take us home?
Okay, so we'll go back to 2015, where there was a guy who lived the Epcot dream for a lot of people. And that would be to climb the pyramid at Mexico.
Yes.
There is video of this man out there. It was the end of the night. The park was closing in a few minutes. Slightly drunk or excessively drunk, as it gets reported. But he was able to climb up the steps, which is an impressive feat in and of itself, because those are not easy steps to scale. It's more of climbing like a ladder going up. So he climbed up it and got back down and apparently escaped security, and to this day has not been figured out who he was, and he seems to have gotten away with it. So he is the one that got away in terms of doing something, and as far as we know, unless he got caught for something else, was not banned.
So you're saying I should do it, right?
I'm not saying you shouldn't do it.
Actually, I have seen the video of him climbing, and I am not in that physical condition. It seems pretty intense, and
especially with a couple margaritas in you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm personally thinking he did World Showcase the incorrect way, which is that he started in Canada, and so by the time he got to Mexico, it was just done, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever you want, and was just like, I'm gonna climb this. And I respect him for that. I fully respect this guy for doing
and
that.
He got away with it. He got away.
I'm more impressed the fact that he was able to not so much to climb up, but to climb down.
Yeah.
There's the Tommy Lee Jones vehicle we need. I want you to check every pyramid, small world, an outhouse,
what if
mouse house.
But that's how he got away. He immediately ran in and got on Three Caballeros, and he is just now in the ride. That's just where he lives. I mean, it's Disney. Anything could happen.
So that's why the Three Caballeros disappeared and plants appeared. It was him.
It was him. Absolutely.
He's the fourth Caballero.
I'm
Okay.
so fine with that. I truly love that. That is not good information for me to have.
Or is it the best information for you to have?
I mean, tequila is my lady.
So got it. So we'll go to Animal Kingdom before Epcot on our trip. Got it all set up.
Why are we going to Animal Kingdom?
Well, we're going to Animal Kingdom first, so that way when you get thrown out of a lifetime ban to Disney.
Oh,
we've
okay.
got you to
I
Animal
set you
Kingdom.
up for that. Wow. I
Yeah.
can't believe I fell for that. I
Yep.
quit. All right. All right. So I love this. I love these people. All of you out there, I'm sorry we've called you dumb, but
Pretty dumb.
I mean, if it fits, you wear it, you know?
It squeaks like a mouse in it.
It's actually Bob Chapek. But anyway, thank you all so much for joining us yet again. If you are listening to us, thank you so much for doing so. We do lives of this podcast, where we still haven't gotten banned from Disney with some of the things that we've said, waiting for that to happen. But every time we feel like it on Facebook Live, so feel free to check us out there. But please, in the upcoming weeks, stay safe, stay smart, and get ready to find out if those harmonious barges are actually as bad as they look. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Anything else to add?
No, I'm tapped.
I guess my last thing is free Britney, and Mark, take us home.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Navigating Disney, A Cynic's Guide. Our producer is Caitlin Owl. Our sound engineer is Mark Sheldon. Our show is hosted by Caitlin Owl and features Dan Maselli and Mark Sheldon. For additional information, blog posts, updates, and more, go to DisneyNavigators.com or follow us on Facebook.com/DisneyNavigators, Twitter @DisneyNav, and on Instagram @Disney_Navigators. Disney Navigators, A Cynic's Guide, and all related media are not affiliated with the Walt Disney Company or any of its subsidiaries or affiliates. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you real soon.